What's it up?
What's up, guys?
What's up?
What's that?
Welcome to the 1 vs. 1 ratio podcast where we
Mm-hmm.
fight each other to the death,
Yup, every week.
but through Zoom.
Yes.
And whoever loses dies.
Horrific,
But
painful death.
also a horrific, painful death. Um, but also sometimes we talk about film like while we're dueling.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's kind of a ooh, um, Ingmar Bergman. Well, what movie are? Sorry, hello. My name is Yoav Akiva. I butchered this intro, and
My
today
name
I'm
is
talking with the one and only.
Melina.
And what movie are we talking about today, Melina Nazarian?
We're
The
talking about Shrek
musical.
the musical.
Oh no. Oh, by the way, guys, if you haven't noticed,
Yeah, if you haven't
we are
noticed,
wearing
matching
um
shirts.
matching shirts. Don't ask, is it a donkey? Is it a giraffe? You'll never know.
You'll never
And
know.
you're actually never gonna know what this shirt even says
Yeah,
because it might reveal Meli's location.
it will.
Um
It definitely will.
and today, well, we have a crazy movie lined up today, but we just we usually go over some film news first and
Yeah.
then what we watched this week. And it was a good week for films. Meli's gonna cover some interesting drama that happened, and also I'm gonna cover some stuff too.
So
But
excited.
I'll start with like two kind of tame-ish things. Two movies had their kind of premieres. Napoleon, directed by Ridley Scott, had its like initial like critics premiere, whatever. I watched one review on YouTube, and it's gonna be. I think we'll like it if we're in the mood for like a war drama.
I agree. I saw the preview officially yesterday. Um, I'm definitely gonna go see it.
Mhm.
I just need to be in the right mood for it
Yeah, yeah.
because
It's definitely not. It's not on my most anticipated list.
yeah, no.
Right now, I'm going nuts. I haven't seen Killers of the Flower Moon yet. I haven't seen Priscilla. I haven't seen
Saltburn.
Saltburn, which I mentioned right now. Saltburn premiered to mixed reactions from critics, but I think it's gonna be like a very audience Gen Z resonant kind of movie. Do you
For
agree?
sure, for sure.
Um, but yeah, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen. I'm really looking forward to watching Perfect Days and Zone of Interest that are both coming
Mm,
in December. And speaking of that, May December is there was a poster released for May December and a trailer, and it looks epic. I'm
hmm.
really it's such a strange drama. I'm so looking forward to seeing that, and it's premiering on Netflix as well.
Very excited for that.
Um, what's on your film news for the week?
So, I just wanted to touch on the whole Sydney Sweeney Glenn Powell thing that happened. So,
Emma Stone, Nathan Fielder, which is the
mhm,
weirdest quartet of people I've ever. Like
yeah.
I would never connect those two like hemispheres of film.
So, me, I am a huge Nathan Fielder fan.
Me
I
too.
love him. Um,
Represent.
I've seen both his shows, um, and I am now working my way through The Curse.
Have you seen Finding Francis?
No, that is the only thing I haven't seen by Nathan
I
Fielder.
haven't seen that yet. I've seen the entirety of Nathan For You. I haven't
Hmm.
seen the rehearsal. I haven't seen The Curse. I haven't seen Finding Francis.
Okay, I have
Those
seen Nathan For You, the rehearsal,
How
watching The
is The
Curse.
Curse?
We'll get there soon.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. So basically what happened was Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney released a trailer for Anyone But You, and people were like, "What the fuck is this?" Because it didn't like it
Do you
didn't.
remember when I was talking about that
Yeah,
trailer?
yeah.
Okay,
Well,
go.
people were like, "What is this? This doesn't reflect what the movie's about." So then they
Right.
re-released a new trailer, which was about which was what the movie was actually about.
Wait, are you talking about The Curse or anyone but
Anyone
you?
But You. Okay.
Okay.
Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell, before the trailer, they did like a little funny, quirky bit where they're like, "This is my movie." No, it's my movie. Actually, it's our movie. Um, and then
Aw.
Nathan Fielder and Emma Stone just releasing their new show, The Curse, weekly, on
Mhm.
Showtime. Everyone should go watch and support. Um, but then they did a mock, like they were mocking their trailer preview.
Was it a parody?
Yes.
Because I thought that Nathan Fielder released a comment saying that it wasn't a parody. It was like their original idea.
He Yoav, he's kidding.
Oh.
Yo,
Oh. So I'm sorry.
yeah, okay. So Nathan and
What?
Emma recreated the trailer using the Fielder method. If you watch the
Ah.
rehearsal, you would know what the Fielder method is. Um, and they recreated the trailer, they posted it, and then Nathan Fielder, a few hours
Ah.
later, puts out a Notes app apology statement being like, "Yeah, this is actually our idea first. Like, they stole it from us." And then the director of Anyone But You put out a statement like an hour later being like, "Yeah, we're so sorry. Like, we copied Nathan Fielder. Like, we really apologize for doing this." And then they recreated the Curses poster with Glenn
uh
Powell and Sydney Sweeney.
oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
I didn't
I
see that.
this is the shit I live for. Like, this is so
Yeah.
fun to me. This is so personal
I
to
didn't
me.
know it was a joke.
See,
I'm stupid.
people
I'm
like
stupid.
Yoav exist where they think it's actually like it's because Nathan Fielder is so deadpan.
Serious about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I feel like reading his notes app apology felt I don't know. I didn't read through his cynicism. Usually I don't know. I don't know what's
Okay,
wrong with
that
me.
this is why you have to watch the rehearsal, because in the
Yeah.
rehearsal it clicks. You just gotta watch it. You just gotta watch
This
it.
this kind of gives like online like kind of another kind of marketing thing, kind of like Barbenheimer,
A
where it's
little
like
bit.
some kind of online thing and it's boosting both works popularity and like
Hmm.
interest about them, which is cool.
Yeah,
So I always like these like organic like kind of feuds or whatever.
agreed.
But that's cool. I'm
Yeah.
just so gullible.
Yeah, too gullible.
um but another thing that caught me really off guard, except for that news that Nathan Fielder was joking, there's the new Aronofsky film that I mentioned last week about him using an 18K camera that takes 12 people to operate. He's filming a biopic, and you know who the biopic is about?
Who?
About the Muskers.
The Three Musketeers?
No, Elon Musk. You stupid, gullible bastard.
Damn it, I'm so gullible.
um, yeah, an Elon Musk biopic directed by Darren Aronofsky, using an 18K camera with a cinematographer and 12 people to operate it, has been secured by A24.
Is
I
Grimes gonna be in it?
I hope not. I hope this has nothing to do with the Elon Musk like estate. Like I want it to be like a mean to him.
I hope they bring up like the fact that his family has contributed to apartheid.
What do you mean?
Because his family's from South Africa.
Oh, really? I didn't
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know he was South African.
Yeah.
Well, that's crazy. He's a crazy man.
I hope they bring up the
um
fact that he stole Tesla.
yeah, there's also that. Sometimes I forget he's even the owner of Tesla. That he's like I cuz now all I think about is Elon Musk and X.
Yeah.
But crazy news aside, we got a much anticipated and expected Criterion announcements this month,
Woo!
which is always my favorite movie news segment. We should make a little jingle for it. Criterion announcements.
Yeah.
Yeah. So would you want to start with like a little with the first? You should announce the most like the thing you're most excited for last.
Okay. Sick. So let's start with the first one. That I heard about that I didn't know anything about. The Roaring Twenties,
I've
directed by
actually heard of this film.
oh, there you go. Directed by Raoul Walsh. The land of the free gone wild, the heyday of the hotcha. The hawk crammed days G-men took 10 whole years to lick.
What does that mean? Um,
No idea.
this is a 4K, no?
Um, is it a 4K? Let's see.
Yeah, it's a 4K Blu-ray
Yeah.
combo disc from 1939. It's an American noir.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at the stills right now on the Criterion website. It looks cinematographically pretty cool. Um, and the feature there's a lot of yeah, I like that poster too.
I thought it
Don't
was
you?
I thought it was Orson Welles when I first saw it. It's not though.
No.
So just keep that in mind.
Um, I will announce one now.
Yes, do it.
Um, Nothing But a Man is also something I haven't heard of. Directed by Michael Romer. Okay, this is the um movie that Malcolm X really loved. It's like
Hmm.
known because Malcolm X likes it. He like talked about it in a speech or something. How it's so accurate of the black experience of some sorts. I'm not sure. Um, but Michael Romer's groundbreaking first feature, sensitively shot by his close collaborator Robert M. Young, is a still resonant expression of humanity in the face of virulent prejudice. Made in the heights of the civil rights movement, Nothing But a Man reveals the toll of systemic racism through its honest portrait of a South Black railroad worker confronting the daily challenges of discrimination and economic precarity. And I'll stop there because I don't know what that word means, and this is a longer description than I thought it would be. But seems like a very interesting movie. And that's releasing on Blu-ray on February 20th.
Word. Next one that I have never heard of as well, but I do know Michelle Yeoh is the Heroic Trio / Executioners. So it is a double 2 movie. Wait, what is it called?
Feature,
Double feature. The star power of cinema
Meli.
icon. What?
Oh, crap. I'm sorry.
What?
I was on the Criterion website and it started playing the trailer for both films at the same time in my ears.
Oh. Okay. I was
Sorry,
like, what happened?
that must have been really weird for you.
A little weird, yeah.
Continue, please.
Okay. The star power of cinema icons Maggie Chung, Anita Me, and Michelle
I
Yeoh
don't know.
fuels these gloriously unrestrained action joyrides from auteur Johnny To and action choreographer Ching Sui Tung. The heroic trio and its sequel, Executioners, follows a new kind of Justice League, a team of blade-throwing, shotgun-toting, kung fu fighting heroines who join forces to
Whoa.
battle evildoers in a dystopian noirish city.
This seems
Sick.
so fun.
I
This seems really
agree.
fun. That they've been releasing a lot of like martial arts films recently. Have you noticed?
I have.
And you mentioned Anita Moy, who started Rouge, and also obviously you have Michelle Yeoh of Everything Ever All at Once, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon
Yep.
fame, and the always marvelous Maggie Chung, star of In the Mood for Love and As Tear and Not As Tears Go By. What's that Wong Kar-wai film that's not As Tears Go By? It's the prequel to In the Mood for Love.
Not not 2040,
No,
not
it's the
Fallen
prequel.
Angels.
No. Um, Days of Being Wild.
Oh, okay.
I do always love seeing a good Maggie Chung appearance. This looks so fun, and I love the
Oh,
cover
wait.
for it too.
She was
What?
what Irma Veep.
Yeah, and she was Irma. Sorry, I didn't mention that.
Irma Veep.
But yeah,
VP.
um, a a
Sorry.
a 4K, another 4K upgrade from Blu-ray is Robert Altman's 1971 classic Macabre and Mrs. Miller. An
Yes.
unorthodox like Western. Obviously, Robert Altman is like a giant figure in cinema. People usually put him up there with like the greats, Kubrick, Scorsese, whatever. I've never seen any Altman film. Have you?
No, I haven't.
But
I'm
I do really want to watch this movie because it's soundtracked by Leonard Cohen, who's one of my favorite artists. If you
Oh,
know Leonard
yeah.
Cohen, if you're a fan.
Of course I know him.
He has just the most wonderful, depressing folk music and poetry in the world. And that's pretty much all I know about this movie, except for it's a Western and Leonard Cohen did the music for it, and it looks pretty cool. So yeah. But
Yeah.
what's the biggest announcement? Let's just
Let's do the biggest announcement, guys. This is a box set, and this was the one that I had heard of when I saw the announcement. And it is Eric Rohmer's Tales of the Four Seasons box set. So it is
you
all
should ask your
four.
French relatives how to pronounce his name, but I'm pretty sure it's Romer.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Romer, yeah. Sorry to offend anyone. It
Do your
is ta-
French relatives watch this? Sorry,
No,
I'm
they
like
don't.
okay.
They don't.
Fake as fuck.
I know. Whatever, it's okay. It is tales of springtime, winter, summer, and autumn. Yeah. And so,
I go.
but okay, let me just read the description for
Mhm,
y'all,
mhm,
and then we'll have Yoav tell us. The seasons may change, but the follies of the heart are constant in this ineffably lovely quartet of films by Eric Romer, one of cinema's most perspective chroniclers of the pangs and perils of romance set throughout France. Tales of the Four Seasons is a cycle to stand alongside the director's two earlier acclaimed film series, Six Moral Tales and Comedies and Proverbs. By turns comic and melancholic, breezy and richly philosophical, these bittersweet tales of love, longing, and the inevitable misunderstandings that shape human relationships probe the most complex of emotions with the utmost grace.
Let me just tell you this, like I've never heard a movie description or a I don't how do you say four movies?
Quartet.
Quadruperlogy? A quartet? Quadruper. A quartet. I haven't had something that sounds like this much of a cup of tea read to me, of my cup of tea read to me. I love French New Wave, and Eric Romer is a big thing in French New Wave. I love melancholic comedies. The cinematography is stunning in these movies, from what I've heard. Obviously, there's a movie here called A Tale of Autumn and A Tale of Autumn Sonata. I really
Autumn
like
Sonata,
autumn.
and then A Tale of Winter and Chilly Scenes of Winter.
Right. So like this must be my favorite quadrulogy ever released, but I haven't
Quartet.
seen. No,
Yes.
I just think me and Meli would eat this up if we watch it.
And I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
It's like I was like, I've heard it. Like, I remember when I first started like getting really into like watching
Mm-hmm.
movies, I like saw like a TikTok about these four movies.
Right, but I think I should watch. I think I want to watch his Six Moral Tales before this. I know.
Okay.
I just know. I'd love his movies. I know I would.
Yeah, definitely. It's like it is Yoav's like cup of tea for sure.
But Meli, what did you watch anything this week that was your cup of tea?
Yes, I did. I'm gonna speed run this, guys, okay?
Okay.
I'm gonna speed run this. Um, sorry. Okay.
What are you doing there?
I was writing down something. Okay,
Okay.
speed run. First movie I
I'm
watched this week.
serious.
I watched Bamboozled. Very good
Spike
movie.
Lee.
Spike Lee, Yoav has seen it. Blackface. Um, sorry, that's the topic of the movie. Um, it's very good. I believe that everyone should watch this movie because it teaches you so much about about racism and how blackface and minstrel shows have trickled down into society today, and it's so good and it's so great.
Painful movie.
And it's also very, it is an
So
uncomfortable
much pain.
watch. I was uncomfortable sitting there because I was like, wow, how am I allowed to watch this right now? But that is the feeling that you should be feeling when you watch that
Yeah.
movie. You should feel uncomfortable.
I think after we watched, I did really love Bamboozled, but after we watched Do the Right Thing, I kind of appreciate that subtlety a little bit more. But
Yeah,
what?
it's okay. Next, I watched Brick for my film club.
How was it?
It was interesting. It was fun. It is a modern day noir, so they did speak in like the riddles, and they had like the
Spoken riddles?
yeah, because in noirs they speak in like they have like noir lingo that they speak in.
Oh, okay.
So because of that, I
Okay.
didn't click with it as much as I would have liked to.
So you're not a noir fan?
I've never been a noir fan.
Okay.
It's always been a little more difficult for me to click with noirs. That's
I
just
don't
what it
know.
is.
Okay.
But Brick is
Yeah.
a fun time, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt is a star. That man is fucking incredible. There's a reason why he came out of that movie a star and no one else did. Let's just put it that way.
Oh.
Next, I watched The Curse, which is technically not a movie, but I'm gonna count it in here because I
course it's a
love
movie.
Nathan
Come on.
Fielder. Yeah, it's I mean it's like whatever, 1 hour episodes once a week. I don't even know how to describe it. It's like this couple that are like doing these house flips in like New Mexico, and there's like something really sinister like going on, and they get cursed, and he has some really micro penis, and it's like a whole story.
You see his penis?
Yeah, well, apparently it's not real, so
It's a prosthetic.
it is, and he tweeted about it. He
Huh.
said, "This is not my real penis."
I
Anyways,
am excited
I
to
don't know.
watch that. I wish I could watch it.
The
It
Curse,
gives
so
yeah.
good. Benny Safdie playing another crazy fucking kooky character.
I love the Benny Safdie songs that's happening here.
Me
this year.
too. He creeps me out a little though. I will say that.
Yeah,
But
that's just how he
it's
is.
okay. And lastly, I watched Thanksgiving, the new horror movie starring Addison Rae and Patrick Dempsey. It was surprisingly not bad. I haven't watched like a slasher like that in a while. We haven't gotten like a new slasher, like a new original slasher in a while. It was a lot of
Right.
fun. I watched it with my friends. We were having a blast. It's directed by Eli Roth, so he is a horror pioneer. He directs a lot of horror. If you don't know him, he was in Inglourious Bastards.
You know what's funny that this movie is based off a fake trailer in another movie. Did you know
Really?
that?
I did not know that.
You know that double feature Grindhouse, the Grindhouse feature that Quentin Tarantino did?
Okay.
In Planet Terror, which is it's Death Proof and Planet Terror. In Planet Terror, apparently there's a fake trailer of a movie called Thanksgiving directed by Eli Roth. And it's like
oh shit, really?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that's really cool. Okay.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird little anecdote.
I mean, you don't have to go watch it in theaters, but if you want to wait till it comes on your home screen.
Support it in theaters, whatever.
It's a lot of fun. The gore is there's a lot of gore, guys. So I'm warning
Mm.
you right now. Like, and it's not like some light blood. No, 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 no. Like it shows people getting decapitated. It's intense.
I'm not the biggest fan of the slasher genre, so I don't know.
Yeah. I will say, there is a scene in the movie where they do like a live streamed um dinner type scene that I totally could tell was paying homage to like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Phenomenally done. I wish it was longer because it was so fun to watch that scene. Oh my god. I love it. I love it. Great. Amazing.
Patrick
Patrick
is great, don't
Dempsey.
you think?
Yeah, he was just voted like sexiest man of the year or
Yeah,
something.
which is an interesting choice. He is the star of the most underrated comedy of all time, the movie Loverboy. So if you guys haven't seen that, check that out. It's from 1989.
Oh.
It says under Patrick Dempsey, he's an American actor and motorsports racing driver.
Oh.
That's weird.
All right.
Um,
But that's it,
what?
guys. That's it.
Wow,
And now I'm gonna hand it off over to Yoav.
that's a very eclectic catalog of movies you watch this week.
Yeah, going from
Um,
Bamboozled to Thanksgiving.
I w- I watch both are horror movies in their own right. I watched a movie from the American New Wave movement or New Hollywood movement from the 70s, Bob Raffleson's Five Easy Pieces from 1970 starring Jack Nicholson. Sometimes I forget that Jack Nicholson is actually like an actor. You know what I mean?
An actor and
It's
not
like
just
when I see him in a movie, I'm like, oh, that's like Jack Nicholson. Like, I just feel like I see his face so much
Mm,
that it's like,
mm.
is he actually like?
Sorry, can I interrupt you?
Yeah.
Another movie he brought up to me was Chinatown.
Oh,
He was like, "Have you seen Chinatown?" And I was like, "No." He was like, "Oh, noir, Jack Nicholson, so good." I was like, "Yeah, okay."
we're speaking about Owen Kalmbach,
Yeah,
a friend of Meli's. Shout out to him if you're listening. You're not listening.
he's definitely not
Speaking of
listening.
noir, I watched the 80s noir. That's actually a sci-fi noir. It's a classic. By the way, I'm in my if I didn't tell you, I'm in my male manipulator era.
He is,
Um
guys. He's
because
manipulating everybody.
I watched The Killer last week. That was the last thing I watched. Then I watched a Jack Nicholson movie. Then I watched Blade Runner.
Oh,
um which I it's my second time seeing it. I own it on Blu-ray. Um it's great. You know, it's Blade Runner. There's really nothing to say.
next thing you know, he's gonna turn into Tyler Durden.
Wait, but it gets worse cuz listen, the next movie I watched in film class was Scarface.
Girl. Girl.
From 1983, directed by Brian De Palma. It's a classic. It's not as good as people say it is.
He's gonna start doing cocaine and shooting people.
The second act is great. The first
Mhm.
act is
Mid?
it's okay.
Wow.
It's okay. It's just missing all that kinetic energy that I love in gangster movies, you know? What are you
Yeah.
eating?
A bagel, sorry.
And then after that, I watched another male manipulator movie to finish off my week, but this time it was in a cinema. Ah,
Oh.
this
Okay.
movie, that was the weirdest sigh I've ever done.
Wait, what the?
This movie,
You really are being a male manipulator. Holy
I
crap.
am being a male manipulator from 1985. This is Scorsese's After Hours. I watch this so this local theater that I really like. They usually have like 30 seats. But because they don't have a bomb shelter, and if you want to host events during war, you have to have a bomb shelter. They made a collaboration with a local publishing house that have a giant underground like bomb shelter that used to be a fish market. And in that giant bomb shelter, they have a giant screen and a bunch of and like an auditorium for their for when authors come in
That's
and
cool.
present their books and stuff. And usually the seats at the cinema get sold out really quick. But all the people that wouldn't have went because it sold out went to this one because there are a lot of chairs. and it was like 100, maybe 120 people there, and
Wow.
it was sold out. It was insane crowd. They were all laughing so hard. And you know what? This movie's perfect.
Why are you flipping? Who are you flipping off? Don't flip me off.
This movie this movie is
I like
perfect.
it.
I'm flipping off me from the past thinking it's not perfect.
Okay.
Watching this with the crowd, everything clicked. It's epic. It's epic.
That's
I know you
usually
like
how
it.
it goes down.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I watched this week.
Awesome, Sawsome.
Awesome, awesome. I need to watch. I hope your pick this week is a female-led movie, because after hours I watched Mishima, which is another male manipulator movie. Which
I'm not gonna say anything, but all I will say is that it's very different from anything we've watched.
oh okay.
Actually, this is the first of this category.
Okay. Please don't say it's a documentary called The Studio System.
Oh, maybe.
No, we're joking. See you guys in the next segment for the
Yeah.
feature press about Mishima.
Wait, we should black out. Welcome to one-on-one. No, Yoav, no, Yoav, don't do it. Yoav, don't do it. Yoav, no. Yoav, no. Yoav, please.
The sun saved me. Welcome.
Welcome to One-on-One Ratio Pod.
Welcome
A
to
Life in 4 Chapters.
A Life in 7. Welcome. Okay. Welcome to our segment on Paul Schrader's Mishima Life in 4 Chapters. God, Meli. This is quite okay. Let me just say that I'll start with the little thing. I don't know anyone. I didn't know anything about Mishima before while going into this.
Neither did I.
But I did some research. I had to pause the film like halfway through and just to like, I don't know, because I was interested in like what's real, what's not, like what's
Yeah, so it's not real. This I knew that. Like I looked it up.
What do you mean?
Like the movie is like a fictionalized
it's
telling.
semi-real. It's based on some things in his life.
Yeah.
The fact that this man was the most like stacked man in history is true. The fact he was an actor and a writer and a stage writer and a screenwriter and a politician and a mutinery or whatever.
He was just
revolutionary. He was everything. What I didn't know also is that this was produced by Francis Ford Coppola and George Lucas, which is nuts.
Yeah.
George Lucas.
Sorry,
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I was shocked about that.
Yeah, George Lucas. He's famous for loving his Japanese cinema. Obviously, Akira Kurosawa's work a big influence to him. What I also didn't know is that forgot was that the score was composed by Philip Glass, who's he's like a big towering figure in modern composition, in like modern classical music, and also in films. He did the famous music to Koyaanisqatsi. He did it for this, then Blue Line. He's kind of a big figure in modern classical music primarily.
Wait, what did he do?
Search him up on Letterboxd. I can't like list it.
The Truman Show.
Oh yeah, he did the score for the Truman.
That's cool. Oh, The Hours, Candyman.
Yes, Candyman as well. I'll just say, if we're already talking about him, we can talk about the music first.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
That's a nice place to start.
Yeah.
From the opening credits.
Oh yeah.
I knew the score was gonna hit. The music swells. It's truly beautiful. I had like a notes about it. Later I wrote, all right, I'm officially obsessed with Philip Glass's score. From beautiful violins to a calming harp, sometimes jazzy, really beautiful, really influenced by Japanese music. I mean, it's just an amazing score. What do you think of the music?
Like my first note of the whole thing was the music. Wow, 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 wow.
It is well.
The music in the opening credits alone is insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
It's crazy.
Like,
I
I mean, Yoav is much more like more than I am with music. Like, okay, he's more, how do I describe this? When it comes to like a lot of these like nicher, bigger music-y terms with like jazz and all that, like he knows more than I do.
I
So
don't
like
I don't know about that, but
no, it's yes. Yes. With like all your jazz and shit, that's you definitely have more knowledge than I do. Um
but when it comes to death metal,
what? I do not listen to death metal.
when it comes to what's that like really weird shot, whatever, ignore me. Yeah, the music is insane.
Well, yeah.
What were you trying to
I
say
was
though?
trying to say was Yoav picks up more on the music in movies than I do, but you can't watch this movie and not pick up on the music. Like that
Right,
is
right.
it is one of like the main, like it is like one of the biggest stars of this movie.
It's like I would say like 70% of the film it has music playing with it.
Yeah,
It's really pretty music.
it was crazy. I was
Um
I was really hooked in the music. I was like, okay, I was like bopping.
yeah.
Yeah.
What was your first note though?
Well, well, that was my first note.
Okay, mine too.
Yeah. What's your second note? You go.
Um, sorry. Um,
Did you just
I
burp?
love
Did you just
no,
burp?
no. I love when movies switch from black and white to color in an interesting way.
Mm.
Concur. Amelie does it well.
Yes.
Trying to think what other movie. I'm looking at the shelf behind me too. Tokyo Drifter does it amazingly. Um, there's some great. I love when films like play with the medium.
Yeah.
Um,
Doesn't don't
and
isn't the
so
black and white is only his childhood, right?
yeah, so we can talk about like the framing of this movie because it did take me a while to get into like the groove of like what's going on here.
Yeah.
Uh, there's Mishima's childhood, right? Um, and up until his adulthood, and then there's
Mike.
the
Mike.
and that's
Use the
sorry.
mic.
Do you even hear me?
I can
Did you
hear
even
you,
hear
but
that?
I could hear you, but it's just not as
Okay,
loud.
that's in black and white. His um his stories that his short stories that were put to film form in the movie are in color
Mm-hmm.
and mostly filmed on like a sagey set. And
Not
then
just regular color though. It's like
no,
heightened,
no. Yeah, it's
crazy
insanely
colors that are not in our everyday lives.
yeah, yeah. And then there's that segment that's like a little more muddled color scheme. Is his like the section this plot line of him and his special military group
Mm-hmm.
and their coup of some sorts.
Yes.
So it took me a while to like get a footing into what's going on here.
Me as well. I realized about halfway through the movie that okay, these first three stories are his stories and they're fictional.
Mhm.
They're not real and they're just like retellings on screen. It took
Right.
me a little bit to understand that. Um
But I want to hear from you like what was like your overall like feelings towards the movie?
okay, so I did not dislike the movie.
Okay.
I think even now after it being like a day since I've seen it,
Mhm.
there's a little bit of a disconnect.
Okay.
And I think the reason why there is and not okay, not because it's in a different language.
Mhm.
I think it's more just like it's very layered, and all those
Yeah. Yeah.
layers put on top of each other made it like a little bit hard for me to fully sit and enjoy it, because the
Yeah.
whole time I
I
was just
totally I
thinking like,
I
what the
totally agree with
heck?
you.
Okay.
Here's what I'll say. I have trouble with Japanese films a lot.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
there are a lot of Japanese films I've seen. Specifically I don't like connect to the anime genre of Japanese films. But
Mm-hmm.
the ones I've seen, I'm genuinely confused with most of the time. And a
Yeah.
lot of the samurai flicks and stuff, I like have no idea sometimes what's happening plot
Mm-hmm.
wise. And it's specific. I literally don't have this problem with any other country for the most part, with just like confusion. Like sometimes I just get really confused
Yeah.
um because there's some sort of cultural, I don't know if even if it's a cultural
No, no, I
barrier.
think it is. I think it is. And I think it's also just like Japanese filmmaking is just very different.
Yeah.
I think you know what it compares to?
What?
A good way to compare it is like Japanese books to like American books, like
Mm-hmm.
books in English, where when you read a book in English, here, funny, a film book. I don't know if you can see
Oh,
it,
look at
but when
that.
you read it like from like left, like you go like
Mhm.
this, right?
Left to right.
Yeah. But in Japan, it's like the other way. You go from like right, whatever.
Well,
You
I
go the other way. And I think that's a
in
perfect comparison to film. It's different, and we're not used to it here
nice
on the
metaphor, Meli.
West. And
I
yeah,
read right to left and I still had trouble. And I still have trouble with Japanese films. But I will say I'm a giant fan of Japanese filmmaking. If you know me,
it's
you
very
know.
good. I do know that Yoav,
Um,
like,
but
yeah.
I'm culturally confused here as to, because it's an American director and American producers, and then the writers, consultants, set designers, light, all of that are Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how that worked on set. Does Paul Schrader speak Japanese?
That's what I was wondering. I'm like, this man
He must. He must
he
speak
has
Japanese,
to,
I guess.
because one of my notes was the movie was done very respectfully.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like
Very
it's not
respectfully.
like a mockery. There's nothing disrespectful about it. If
If someone told me this was from a Japanese director, I couldn't find anything that felt like lost in translation between like a Western. It
yeah,
felt very adherent to Japanese like forms of filmmaking and style.
I was
So,
gonna say that. Like if you didn't tell me that this was directed by Paul Schrader,
mhm.
and I just didn't look at the movie at all, like I didn't Google it or whatever,
Yeah, yeah,
I would have totally thought it was from a Japanese director.
yeah.
Totally.
Um, okay, well, I'll say this. Um, the next thing I wrote was, it's so cute that all the middle school boys have to wear white gloves. But
What?
it's not really. You know, they all like part of their
Yeah, yeah,
uniform
yeah.
is white. That's so funny and cute.
They're
Um,
like like drivers,
yeah.
like
Um, yeah,
chauffeurs.
yeah. But I will say, speaking of like Japanese culture and kabuki theater, theater is a giant part of this movie because it's
Mm-hmm.
all of the short stories put to film are kind of theater-esque, like
Yeah.
colorful. Like this, we're both of our backgrounds are like shots from the short little anthology kind of
Mine's from the
thing.
third one, I think.
Yeah, mine is from the third one as well. And I will say, we'll get to them, but I will say the third one, in my opinion, is the most like beautifully shot one out of them. Mm,
Mm,
it's the most. It has the most shots that stuck in my head,
okay.
although it's my least favorite.
Okay.
believe it or not.
Really? Hmm.
Um, okay, wait. What's your next note?
Um, I my notes are kind of like all over the place.
Mine too, mine too. Because this
Um,
movie is so like layered. It's like so everywhere. It's so everything and everywhere, but not all at once. Like
yeah.
so concise and so messy at the same time.
Um, my next note was, is he gay?
So there are allegations of Mishima being a
Okay.
gay person, but he goes to a gay club. I wrote I wrote a note about that. That this like in all of cinema, this is the most like sweet portrayal of a gay club I've seen. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it was pretty
Because
tame. They were just like
I,
dancing like
yeah,
this.
I feel like in a lot of gay club scenes in movies, it's like they're like there's a lot of like sex and like a lot of like loudness, and here it's
Well,
very sweet.
I feel like
I don't know, from the gay clubs I've seen portrayed in cinema, I feel like
in
this is kind of cool.
in the But I'm a Cheerleader,
Mhm.
that one wasn't bad.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, that movie's also not normal, but yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I like the gay club scene. I don't know if he was gay, but
Well,
this
'cause
leads.
it wasn't even that scene that was what made me think that. It was when he
Oh,
was
was
talking
it the
about the
boob? Oh, when
no.
his hand is shaking over that girl's boobs.
No, not even that. When he was talking
Oh,
about that painting picture of the white body with the towel and the
oh
arrows.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
When he
yeah.
was talking about that, and then like later in the movie, I was so confused. But later in the movie, it
Yeah,
resurfaced and like
yeah, yeah.
it like came back, and I was like, that is
That was him doing a photo shoot, I believe.
okay. But even then, I was like, this is a little sus because in the beginning, he was like talking about it, and it was a man, and he was like, my hand did something he's never done before, and I was like, oh, that's a man.
So I think here's what I'll say. I think that masculinity and hidden layer of homoeroticism prevails in this movie.
Yeah,
Masculinity is just the biggest theme out of all of this, which is very iconic to Paul Schrader's kind of vibe. He's
yeah,
all about that toxic masculinity. Mishima is kind of, I believe, a gay man in
yeah.
this movie at least. Who it has an obsession with the male form and masculine, not in like not in that he's sexually attracted to the male
Mm-hmm.
form. He has an obsession with masculinity and the more military
Mm-hmm.
side of masculinity. He's obsessed. He's like in all of his stories. First of all, I inferred that he's gay just because, like I said, he was like his hand was shaking over that woman's boobs in
Right.
the short story, but in literally all of the short stories that were put to film here in the Golden Pavilion, it's about this person's dealing with his like weakness in terms of masculinity and like having sex, and then in the one about the sadomasochistic relationship, and in the one of obviously the one that's behind us, the runaway horses, is it's masculinity is a big thing. Did you pick that up too?
I guess like in a way, but it
Mhm.
wasn't like some like yes, you like
Mhm.
okay, how do I describe this? Like I picked up on it a little, but I didn't really like dive deep into it.
It's so weird because I feel like if this movie's so dense that like we could get two different things out. Like I could just be fixating on this thing, and you could be like in a completely, you know. Um, I will say something we can agree on. This movie's very poetic, and it's a lot of reading. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a lot of reading, a lot of like I had to pay attention at all times because every time I looked away and looked back, it was a different like beautiful line that was written. And it was a lot to handle, I will
Yeah.
say. and it kind of at one point I got kind of like um how do you say like desensitized to it kind of
Yeah,
with like
I agree. Well, until the ending, but we can talk about that.
right the poetic. But here's what I'll say before we get to like themes or whatever or poeticism, we should probably address the visuals, right? Right.
Do you want me to address it? Sorry. I thought you were gonna keep
No,
going.
I was no. I think you should address it. That's fine.
Well, that is one of my notes. Um, the visuals of the three poems. What? Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, the second one, the pink?
Nuts.
Guys, and then like it reminded me of, okay, this is, you might kill me for this comparison, but not like, let me clarify myself and then you can judge me.
Mhm.
It reminded me of Squid Game kind of,
Okay.
but not like not like the colors and all that. Just like a lot of like those like set pieces were like in Squid Games were like boxed in and like on like a set. And
Yeah,
it kind of
yeah.
reminded me of that in Squid Games where it was like they're both like very like boxed in, like square, and they have everything inside of that square. And it was like that.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
It's it's sound stages, right?
Yes.
And it's very you know, I mentioned Tokyo Drifter and its colorful neon landscape. I also my brain went to Dawn, which is a horror movie I've mentioned a lot. That was filmed mostly
Yeah.
on sound stages. Kind of same kind of colorful, crazy aesthetic. I
Mm-hmm.
would also say speak like Kurosawa's Ran, which I watched in theaters. It's like this 3 hour crazy Shakespeare adaptation. Also super colorful. The Japanese filmmakers love their color. Um,
They really
and
do.
this was insane, even though it wasn't a Japanese filmmaker. Um, but yeah, the cinematography's
Top notch, man. Top notch.
um,
And the production design.
yeah, yeah.
I think its
It's
production design gets me in a lot of movies.
mm-hmm.
I'm like, who?
Such an underrated like part of a movie. You know what I
Part
mean?
of me is like, if I ever like, if I go into like film, well, not if, like when I go into film, like a route that I would be willing to take is to become like a production designer. That's something I'd be
Yeah,
willing to
it's such
do.
a difficult job though, Meli. It's a
I
very hard
know.
line. Um, I'll just pass through some notes so I don't like skip over them. In the beginning, I wrote down I like wrote down quotes that like got me, and then but later I kind of gave up on it because
Like,
because there's just so much. Um, from the Golden Pavilion, that's the power of beauty's eternity. It poisons us. It blocks out our lives. I wrote the Golden Pavilions really outlines Mishima's relationship with militarism, masculinity, and simultaneously love for life and art in all its forms. This
look at
this
this
character
fucking
is like
poet right here.
this this character is so obsessed with this like little cube like candle artwork
Mm-hmm.
which is like appears life size in his head. And so this like obsession with this work of art and also this difficulty expressing himself matched with like undertones of not being able to express himself towards women because Mishima is a homosexual in this movie. Um is so I I love the Golden Pavilion. Do you have a ranking of the three stories?
Oh,
Because it would be hard for me to rank, but I have one.
okay. I want to hear your ranking.
Number 3 is the
The
military
horses.
the
Yeah.
last one. It's beautifully filmed and some of the most shots that like are gonna stay in my head for sure are from there. But I just connect less to like that the whole plot of
Yeah.
the story. It's just less my thing. It's more like military, whatever. Um, I'll just write what I wrote about it. relates again to Mishima's militarism, anti-Westernism, his adherence to traditionalism, his interest in the ritualistic suicide seppuku. Um, I just didn't really fully connect to the honor
Mm-hmm.
story of it, you know.
Yeah.
What's your? Do you have a number 3?
I think that one's also my number 3.
Mm.
I just, again, you like really went into a deep dive on it. Um, for me, I just didn't like click with it as much as the other two.
Yeah. Although, that ending.
Well,
But, the ending,
yeah,
we'll get to the ending.
yeah.
Number 2 is the golden the golden. What the fuck was the name
Whoa,
of
okay,
the
so we
Golden
have the
Pavilion?
same, so we have the same rank.
Oh, we have the same
We
ranking.
have
Look
the
at
same,
us.
okay, yeah.
Um it's just cool. It's a cool looking one, and I like
Yeah.
the end where he burns the pavilion
Mm-hmm.
down when he's waiting for the American bombers. It's kind of this like again, this obsession with masculinity and military and war. Um is yeah. What'd you think of the Golden Pavilion?
Well, I liked that one because it was a little easier for me to understand. Um, and then also like I think it had my attention more
Mhm.
than this one
Yeah.
did, but I really liked the end where he burned it.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty, what's the word? I just had the word. That was
Beautiful.
yeah, beautiful.
Haunting.
Symbolic.
Yeah. His kind of like he kind of has this headspace of like he constantly talks about action and art, this part of him that's obsessed with masculinity and
Mm-hmm.
war and all of that, and then his like more art focused brain. That conflict,
Yeah.
is really in the my favorite one and your favorite one is Kyoko's house. This sadomasochistic relationship story kind of thing. um
That's so typical of us.
Kyoko's house, fascinating story that is very dark and telling of Mishima's like perversions and like obsessions and interests in masculinity. These role play aspects of a Sado relationship could relate to Mishima and his acting career, his writing of fiction. How for him I'm quoting, art is a shadow, stage blood is not enough. He needs to
Mm-hmm.
have action, not just art. um Art imitates life, and life is what really matters to him, not just the art, not the because art is a shadow, but if art is an extension of life to him, it also matters to
Yeah.
him. It matters a lot. So it's this constant battle, and I think, I don't know, what'd you think of the Kyoko's house?
Well, how do I describe this without sounding like a weirdo? I've always oh, I've always enjoyed watching.
It's true. It's true. No, it's such an interesting topic in film. It is.
I'm sorry, I really enjoy stories that tell like stories about
Yeah.
that. I mean,
Yeah.
let me pull it up right now. I have a whole list of movies that kind of talk about
Did you
that.
watch did you watch that movie Sanctuary?
No.
Oh, it was like a neon release that was just about this BDSM
Oh my
relationship.
God, wait.
I can't see
Hold on. Let me take this background off real quick. I have a whole list of movies.
that are your bread and butter.
Yeah,
I know it.
it's called My Bread and Butter, and it's
You've seen Possession?
yes.
Oh.
And basically like I mean, Piano
Those are
Teacher,
all kinky ass movies.
yeah, Piano Teacher is like the main one, obviously.
Right. Right.
Which is like has that the themes of like sadism and masochism and all that, whatever. But like I've always found that so interesting. Like I've always really enjoyed watching movies with those themes in it because like it's just such a deep dive on like the human brain and like the human psyche and like what people go through to like be able to enjoy those things, but also like the deep rooted trauma that people have, like
It's
to develop the love for that, but also like the hate. It's just so like,
yeah.
oh, it's so complicated and
It's
it's
not. It's
so
kind of a taboo subject too, in like a lot of like cinema.
it is.
There's a lot of movies. There's this French movie, I forgot its name, but I've been really interested in watching from like it's like a French New Wave one that's kind of,
Mhm.
but there's also Belle de Jour, another the French love their their dom relationships.
They do. The French are
Belle
kinky as
de
hell.
Jour. There's The Night Porter. Have you heard of The Night Porter?
The Night Porter.
That's one I like refuse to watch. It's about this Holocaust survivor that starts a that's like in some sort of BDSM relationship with, and it's like a role play, like he's a Nazi. Off I can't.
Oh my god.
That's you've seen it?
No, I haven't seen it, but oh my god, when you said
Not for
that.
me.
No, if American Horror Story totally took inspiration from that movie.
Oh, what?
Because in American Horror Story Freak Show, Elsa Mars is like this German woman that like was escaping Germany. It doesn't like show her escaping it, but in that season, they show her backstory of escaping Germany or whatever. But before she came to the Freak Show to be like the ringleader, she was like this BDSM, like she was like a dom woman, and she would like do, she would do that
Like
stuff.
Nazi shit?
No.
Oh.
She was like a dom woman, whatever.
Mm.
But then occasionally like Nazis would like come in and like ask for stuff. But then eventually the Nazis like like held her down and like cut her legs off for pleasure and like did all this like fucked up shit to her.
Whoa.
I think they took
I don't know. The
inspiration
Night
from
Porter
this.
is not a movie I'm touched. Anyways, we did a total tangent, but the story,
Yeah.
yeah, it's always interesting to see, um, you know, power dynamics in sex, and this is
Yeah.
really interesting. And it touches on Mishima's perversions and obsessions, which
Mm-hmm.
it's such a awesome, and there's a really cool scene that's this whole like story is neon soaked,
It's
and
yeah.
I just loved how
It's
there's
the
a
most
part where
beautiful.
he goes to the gym, and then he goes into the gym shower, and all of the gym men are just like it's a small ass gym.
That
I
was one
would
of my
I would
notes.
That's awful, but it's like this purple colored gym shower with all these like gym bro Japanese men. It was so funny.
That was literally one of my notes was, holy crap, there are so many butt cheeks right now.
Oh yeah, there's so much nudity in this movie.
Yeah,
There's a lot
there
of
is.
nudity.
Especially in that one scene though. I was like,
I
damn.
love it. You love to see it. You hate to love it.
Word.
You love to hate. Anyways, yeah, there's a lot of nudity in this movie because sex is a big part.
Yeah.
Let me Okay.
Japanese films love their sex.
Is that true? I don't see a lot of sex in Japanese movies.
Oh, okay.
What?
Nothing. I just thought it was kind of, well,
Maybe.
I don't know if this is problematic for me to say.
No, say.
I thought like it was known that like Japanese like sex is like has always been a little weird.
Yeah. There's always that like, yeah, it's like I don't know. I connect Japanese sex to In the Realm of the Senses, if you've heard of that movie. Don't search it. Don't.
I am.
It's like this really whatever. I haven't seen it. I'll never watch it. Let me just wow, we did a total sidetrack. I'm totally lost. I wrote at one point I wrote okay Hamilton.
Oh,
I think I
what?
was I think I was talking about the spinning like sage thing that they had going on, the spin rig. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yep.
I wrote okay
yep.
Hamilton.
That's
I
okay.
thought that
That's
was really cool.
That's creative. I like that.
Thank you. I thought that was really awesome. A lot of gender relations at play here. The male form, its relation to the female form, mostly. Um, I think Paul Schrader really connects to this because all of his works, in one way or another, connect to masculinity and less about, sadly, males and I mean females in relation to male, more of males in relation to females.
Yeah,
I
yep, yep,
mean,
yep.
he directs what he knows, I guess. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Um, but this is very Paul Schrader,
Yeah,
Um,
if you've seen the first Reformed, you haven't, but
I haven't, but I've seen the card counter, which is
yeah, okay.
just amazing.
Yeah, no, this
Um,
when you say the male relation to female, that instantly like, yep,
yeah,
Ethan Hawke.
yeah. I wrote, this guy did everything: act, write, politics, started an elite military group that set out to maintain a traditionalist values and samurai culture in 80s Japan.
Yep. He just has
Crazy.
it all down. He just
He has
has
it
it
all
all
down.
down. He's a multi-talented man.
Yeah. Mishima, life in a billion careers.
I can't tell, but was his goal of trying to make that elite thing good or bad? I don't know. I don't know a lot about
You are.
Japanese politics.
So I think it is bad.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think it's bad. Um, he wants to return to the emperor samurai phase of
Yeah,
Japanese history. Um, you know, me as with my political views, disagrees with a lot of what happened in that part of Japanese history. It's
yes.
obviously a very integral part.
Cuz
It's always a nice thing.
it was almost like a monarchy type
Mhm.
sitch,
It was
right?
it was a very violent time. I love seeing movies about it, so I know a lot about the history, but in a way what he did was bad, but Mishima, I think it sprouts from his obsession with military and masculinity and this kind of um you know trying to he's like overcompensating for his possible homosexuality in some way,
Yeah.
um and becoming this traditionalist like asshole, who has these obsessions and this inflated ego. But speaking of that, what'd you think of the last, like, 20, like, the
So
last part of the movie?
so okay, here's the thing. Politically, I did not really understand what was going on.
Okay.
Because I think it seems to be a very complicated political issue that is something that I have not learned about or have not educated myself on.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think you need to be very politically educated in what, like, exactly everything means to, like, get the gist of
Well, no, no, no. I got
what's
like
going
the
on.
gist of it.
Hmm.
Obviously, I understood that he wanted to go back to those like
Hmm.
emperor times and all that, and like he obviously does not like Japan's where Japan is politically in that time,
Hmm.
and is trying to like speak to the soldiers and is like, listen to me, like listen to what I have to say. But then in a way, like even the oh shit, wait, I might sneeze. I'm warning you.
Go ahead.
Um,
Why do you look? Are
okay,
you okay? You look in pain.
because there's a tickle in my nose.
uh
Ow. Okay, okay. I think I'm good. I think I'm good. If I sneeze, guys, I'm sorry. Um, even though the things he was saying were probably not good and not right, I still
Right.
felt his frustration.
I did too.
And I was still like, oh, like just listen to him. He's like
Well, we just
standing
spent
up
two
there.
hours with the guy as well.
Yeah.
So
But I was
I'll
like, just
say
listen to
this.
him. Yeah.
I'll say this without going too far.
Mm-hmm.
But in some ways I connected to it in a way of how um certain voices are neglected, and
Mm.
how in nowadays in a lot of places there's people think so black and white that when someone
Right.
who's more like when there's some sort of activist or some sort of politician who is more towards one side, it doesn't matter what side. There's always so like when someone tries to be a complex person who might have more traditionalist values, might have more liberal values that a certain crowd doesn't agree with,
Totally.
there's always a very extreme reaction to that person, and sometimes complete like neglect and erasure of what that person is saying, even if they do have something valuable to say. I feel like that's very relevant to our times. So
Yeah.
in a way, I did understand his frustration.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Very roundabout way of explaining it.
No, I was definitely like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, and we just spent 2 hours with the guy,
Hmm.
you learn to care for him. And here's what I'll say. I feel like this movie is so comprehensive in that I feel like I lived a life. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
In a way, you
I
know?
get that.
It's like through showing this guy's art, his childhood, his relationship to art, his relationship to action, his relationship to violence, to militarism, to his masculinity, to his sexuality, to his like everything is it's so comprehensive and
Hmm.
concise,
Yeah.
and so impressive. Um I guess you want to get to like, do you have another note?
No, I mean, like, my
We
only
can just
thing
get to
is
ratings.
I was Googling, like, I stumbled upon an article that somebody wrote about this movie, and this is really cool thing that I want to read out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Yukio Mishima was a fervent Japanese nationalist who despised the cultural shift away from the intense devotion that defined World War II era Japan. He lived his life under the traditional samurai code of Bushido and advocated for an absolute monarchy under the emperor. In the opening scene of the film, Mishima does his well-ironed military uniform, getting dressed for what he knows will likely be his final day, with no sense of anxiety about what is to come. Through scenes of Mishima's childhood, which shows him dealing with his emotionally abusive grandmother and his budding homosexuality, Schrader reveals to us that his uh machismo, I think, because it's like
Machismo. Yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
know the word, yeah.
yeah, is simply a facade
Machismo.
for Mishima's deep-seated insecurities. The young Mishima became obsessed with changing the world, desperate to free himself from his feelings of inferiority. And it
Mhm.
goes a lot longer,
That's
which I'm not going to read the whole thing, but shout out to who wrote this? Jackson Schneider.
that's a great way to sum up kind of what this movie is.
Yeah.
I'll say before we get to ratings, I'll say oh, also I'll say this. I love the ending of this movie
Yeah, yeah,
where
yeah,
they
yeah.
went through all the four, that's bound to stick with a person.
Mhm.
Everything about it, the sunset, the credits rolling, it's a perfect ending. His face when he commits suicide is ugh. His performance is great too. We didn't talk about his performance.
We
Great
didn't, but
performance.
it is great. All the
Yeah, it is great.
performances.
Did you like the ending as well?
I did. I did like the ending.
You can't really dislike it. It's
No.
very
It
emotional.
was pretty, it was satisfying to me too.
Hmm. Um, and I'll just say comparisons wise, I did draw comparisons, one to Color of Pomegranates, which me and Meli obviously think is a masterpiece. Um, and two with Andrei Tarkovsky's Mirror. Um, which
Uh-huh.
I also think is a masterpiece, which is an autobiographical film, but it kind of also has this collagey way of explaining stuff. Even this one, but though Mishima is much more like straightforward, which
Yeah.
is such a weird way to say. Even this movie's not really straightforward, but it's so dense. It's so full of. I love the black and white. I love the color. I love the art. I loved pretty much everything about this. I would say my only qualms is that I had kind of difficulty getting like associating with some of the militarism of this character. But I did like how I like that writer said it's kind of a facade.
Yeah.
And I think giving this one a rewatch would really concrete like have me connect to that even more. It took me a while to get into its groove and like understand what's going on. But yeah, well, do you have like a rating?
Um, I don't know how to rate this movie. I am
Oof.
going back and forth between two ratings. Um, I don't know if I should give it a 4 or 4.5.
I literally same debate in my
I
mind.
I do not know which one to give it.
You can say like 4.25.
Let's do 4.25.
I'm gonna be in the same exact place, but on Letterboxd, it's probably gonna be a 4.5.
Okay.
Um, because it's probably a 4.26 for me.
Mm.
It's like
Mm-hmm,
just a
mm-hmm.
little. I I I think this one deserves a rewatch as well. I'd love to see it in like a 4K remastering as well, like a
Yeah.
good like 4K UHD upgrade in theaters maybe. Um,
Mm.
it's really. I'm happy I chose it. Are
Yeah.
you?
I'm also happy you chose this because it was something different
Mhm.
for me to watch, so I'm very happy that with this choice.
Yeah. Well, should we get to
Let's do it.
let's take off these back
Einstein, what are you doing here?
Einstein. Is that a callback to our first episode?
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Okay, y'all.
Mm,
So, next week's movie.
I am scared.
I've decided that I'm gonna go with option B.
Oh,
Okay,
I
people?
don't know what either of these are.
Option one, I might save it. I might watch it on my own. I'll probably
Are
end
you
up
gonna
watching
tell
it on
me
my
what it
own.
was? Are you
I'll
gonna
tell
tell me
you
what?
what it is if I watch it on my own. If I
Oh,
don't
okay.
watch it on my own, I'll save it for my next pick.
Valid, valid,
Okay?
valid.
But it was between these two, and I have seen this movie.
Oh,
Um, I don't think you've seen it. Let me check just in case.
mm, I
Wait, have you
probably
seen
haven't.
it?
I don't know. I feel like I've seen so many movies you haven't, and then
No, no, you
you've seen
haven't
so
seen it.
many stuff that I've have.
You haven't seen it because it's even though it's not in your watch list, it's not in your watched by, which means you haven't seen
Oh,
it
okay.
because you log everything.
Right.
I have, like I said, I have seen this movie. Yoav hasn't seen this movie. Um and I chose this kind of because of what Yoav said about the the
Oh.
sadomasochism. Well, it's not as bad as like other movies. I don't, but
Okay.
next week's pick is the 1986 movie directed by David Lynch, Blue Velvet.
Whoa. Whoa. Oh, holy shit. You're that you're you're going like for like straight like straight to the classics.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know you've seen this.
I own it on Criterion.
Okay, I didn't even know. Okay, well that's great. I
Wait, you
haven't
didn't know that
seen
I've
it.
seen this movie?
So I no, I didn't. I am the biggest David Lynch fan. You know
Yeah,
this.
I
And
know that.
I haven't seen Blue Velvet and Mulholland Drive,
Mm-hmm.
which is so like crazy to say, but I own every Lynch movie I've seen and I love every Lynch movie I've seen. So this is wow.
That
It's like a
sneeze really
classic.
almost got me.
Did,
Sorry.
okay, Wow, that's a great pick, Meli.
Yeah, I'm so
This
excited
is
because I've been wanting to rewatch this movie too. So,
this is why I co-host a podcast with Meli, because she is the coolest.
oh,
And I'm also scared, as usual, because I've heard this gets messed up,
yeah, it does for sure.
and I will be watching it with a friend, because he has also been talking about wanting to watch this.
Well, one thing I can say is that this movie is fantastic. Um, I, I cannot. I've been wanting to do a rewatch on it. I cannot wait. We're gonna go real fucking deep on this movie. I already know.
Yeah.
Um, it's yeah, so good. I cannot wait. Owen Barbie, if you're watching this, I see that it is on your watch list, so you better watch with us.
Yes, 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 yes.
You better watch with us, buddy.
You better watch with us, you Lynch fan. Meli needs Meli needs to watch more Lynch.
Hey, I have seen
You've seen Mulholland, Blue Velvet, and Eraserhead.
Eraserhead.
Not enough.
Inland Empire, Elephant Man, Lost Highway, Twin Peaks are on my watch list. I just need to be in the right headspace to watch all those movies / shows.
Elephant Man is like the most like depressing thing you'll ever
Yeah.
see. But okay, well, stick around for Blue Velvet next week.
Stick around.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Watch Mishima and Blue Velvet. Mishima, A Life in Blue Velvet, and form your own
Mishima,
opinion.
A Life in Blue Velvet.
Lynch, A Life in
4 parts.
Eating women's panties.
Whoa!
Have you seen that video?
No.
He likes there's a whole like chronicle of David Lynch videos on YouTube of just him doing the weirdest shit. Oh, that's a very Lynchian fork, by the way.
I have 3 of these.
He's why are you a freak?
If you know, you know, but I can't say the name of the fork on the internet because I'm afraid that the person who we named the fork after might stumble upon this.
Okay.
So I don't want him to watch and be like, why the hell did you name forks after me?
Of David Lynch sitting next to this woman, and he's like, today I will be eating, I don't remember her name, Dolores's panties. And then he just puts it goes, oh, bah. It's so funny.
He's such an odd man.
He's the best. Thank you guys so much for watch Blue Velvet, and if you haven't seen Mishima, I will kill you with the sword.
I was waiting for you to say that. I was
what will
waiting.
You do to them?
I'll do the thing that the lady did with the knife.
Ooh, and then taste their blood?
No, ew.
Weirdo.
I don't want to do that. I would just let it drain out.
I will cut you into 4 chapters.
Oh! Shit.
See you guys next week. Thank you guys so much for listening.
Peace out, Potters. Oh. Wait, no. Because that sounds like Harry Potter. Peace out. Whatever.
Peace out.
Goodbye, guys.
Goodbye.